Hello everyone, my name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? What I have for you today in this video is a recap of Apple's event today, March 9th of 2015. They call it Spring Forward. So I apologize for the glare you see, or excuse me, back here in the window right here. But hopefully the lighting got better because I have about 3 lights on. Anyway, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to recap it. Now keep in mind that I did not watch the event yet because currently it hasn't been up yet. So I will watch it again just to confirm all the rest of the details. So let's talk about the first thing that I found out was HBO will be coming to the Apple TV next month, and it'll be live at $14.99 per month, which is the fee you have to pay monthly, and it'll be available on all devices. The first month is free if you subscribed in April, and HBO, this feature called HBO Now will be coming. And the result of this led to the Apple TV only costing $69. Originally it ran $99, now it's only going to be $69. Let's go on to another thing called Research Kit, which Research Kit is basically more for the users who does a lot of research in a database, and they're going to jot down lots of information about certain medical situations. Alright, so this allows the iPhone users to submit data for research, and it lets researchers create apps, then enabling users to have certain advantages. By the way, I do apologize if you see me looking down the screen. Forgot to mention this at the beginning. Wow. I am looking at my notes right here on my computer, so excuse me if you see me looking down versus the camera. Alright, and Apple worked with the University of Rochester to create an app called Empower, which lets iPhone users sign up and contribute to Parkinson's research. Alright, and you can use this to evaluate illnesses, let it pull data from your health kit, and this is actually one of the 5 apps, and more are supposed to come in the future. Alright, now let's get on to what I would say the most hyped thing ever for this event. There's a new MacBook announced. So you guys know already, we currently have the MacBook Pro Retina display with the MacBook Air, and now they announced a new MacBook. And what are they calling it? They're just calling it MacBook. Now, think of it as the old plastic white MacBook they used to sell, and then they discontinued it. Think about the unibody aluminum MacBook that wasn't the Pro model. Now they brought that name up again, except this thing weighs 2 pounds and 13.1 millimeters thin, and it contains an all-metal enclosure with antennas embedded inside the computer itself. Not only that, it has a full-size keyboard running to the edges, and it's supposed to prevent wobbling when you're pushing on the keys. Alright? This features single assembly with a stainless steel dome switch. Each key has its own LED, and this is a 12-inch display laptop with a resolution of 2304 by 1440, and it goes from edge to edge covered glass. Not only that, they implemented a new trackpad in here, which is the same as usual, a glass trackpad with haptic engine feedback. So my understanding from this is you're actually getting haptic feedback from this. Alright, and they implemented this feature onto the trackpad called Force Click, which lets you execute tasks depending on the amount of pressure you applied on the trackpad itself. So you have to apply a certain amount of pressure to execute a task. And this has a 1.3 gigahertz Intel Core M processor, which can be turbocharged up to 2.9 gigahertz. As far as the battery is concerned, this has something called the contoured battery cells, which takes up as much empty space in the computer itself. So Apple tried to utilize the extra space with more battery with these battery cells. I'm not 100% sure how this technology works, but once I see the event, I'm pretty sure Apple will explain it. Not only that, but this is supposed to provide you 9 hours of web surfing or 10 hours of iTunes. I wish they would have done a little bit more data versus just comparing web surfing and iTunes. What about video streaming or whatever the case may be? That's going to be tested once customers actually buy this MacBook. But anyway, on to the next thing. It contains a single connector for VGA, HDMI, DisplayPort, USB, And not only that, this also powers devices, which is known as USB-C. And of course, Apple expects users to be connecting devices or peripherals to this computer most of the time through Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but that'll be in a later video. And not only that, this will be shipped in gold, silver, and space gray. So just like with the iOS devices, it's going to be shipping in the same colors versus just you have an aluminum body on the outside and then you have a black glossy screen or an aluminum edge of the screen. So they actually did something different with the MacBooks here in terms of the design since the last refresh they did. So as far as pricing is concerned, it's going to start you off at $1,299, $1,299 with 256 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigs of RAM. But you can configure it with more storage and a faster chip up to $1,599, $1,599. And this will be available on April 10th. Alright, so that was basically Apple's new MacBook, and just by looking at the pictures, it's really thin. It's a small laptop. I mean, 12 inches. Me personally, that's a little bit too small for me, but it works for some people. Now, they also upgraded the MacBook Air and the Pro, not design-wise, but the specs. The new 13-inch MacBook Pro has the new Force touchpad, or the trackpad, excuse me, with the Force Touch feature. Then it also has a faster processor and faster flash, with a 10-hour battery life. Now, the new MacBook Air has the 5th gen Intel Core processors and Thunderbolt 2, and both of these are shipping today. Alright, now let's talk about the Apple Watch. So if you guys remember from last year, back in 2014, I believe it was back in October, Apple announced the Apple Watch and has not released it yet. They just talked about a few details here and there, and then they really got in depth into it. Alright, so first of all, they discussed that thousands of apps are supposed to launch or are supposed to be available at launch of the Apple Watch. Not only that, iOS 8.2 is available today with Apple Watch support, which I'm actually in the process of updating my iPhone 5 right now to iOS 8.2. And battery life was concerned for people on this Apple Watch, but Apple is saying you're supposed to get 18 hours of battery life each day. Alright, now as far as pricing is concerned, they have 3 different models right here. So here's the low-end model, Apple Watch Sport. That's what they call it for the low-end model, Apple Watch Sport. It's going to start you off at $349 for 38 millimeters and then $399 for 42 millimeters. Now, here's the middle-end model, Apple Watch Steel. Starts at $549 to $1,049 for 38 millimeters, and then $599 to $1,099 for 42 millimeters, and the pricing just depends on the type of band that you want, which is going to vary. Now here's the most expensive model, and I already got a lot of things in my mind, but I'm going to save my thoughts until my What Do I Think video this upcoming Sunday. This is what they call the Apple Watch Edition. So this is supposed to be the higher or the highest end model right there. The pricing is gonna run $10,000, and not many of them are gonna be available at launch. And the most expensive one that's shown on Apple's site for the Apple Watch Edition, you may think $10,000 is crazy, right? Guess what? What about $17,000? Because that's the most expensive one right there. And they're going to sell this one through special retailers. And as far as these Apple Watches are concerned, they're going to launch on April 24th. However, on April 10th, you can start pre-ordering them or go to the store and take a preview at them yourself. So that way you can determine which one fits on your wrist better, and that way you can determine which purchase you want to make. Now, either the Sport Steel or the Edition. So that's pretty much my coverage for Apple's event today. Thank you so much for watching. Expect a video this Sunday about me talking about my thoughts about these devices and what Apple announced at the event. After I watch the event and confirm the rest of the details on what Apple was doing today, then I'll get back to you guys on Sunday. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also check out my social media in the description below, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.